Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, we're going to go over another fletching method. I know we just done the Incendiary and Onyx bolts method a couple of days ago, but we're going to be focusing on another fletching method which does very, very well. So this is the one I kind of get accounts set up to get to. So at the minute, Onyx bolts, Incendiary bolts are doing very, very well. Another method which is a little down compared to normal, which does exceptionally well at level 95 fletching, is fletching headless dino arrows. Now to do this, we're going to need two items. One is going to be a tempered fungal shaft, which you can buy 30,000 per hour, but in terms of making dino arrows, you're going to make roughly 45k. So this is definitely one where you buy the items over time, try and get them for a cheaper price because it never hurts, saves yourself a little bit of GP, and stock up on and then do them all in one big go. So for this video, like we did with Incendiary and Onyx bolts, we're going to do 1,000 in terms of a test. Along with the fungal shafts, you are going to need the dinosaur propellant, which is what you can get from the high level fire making from Anachronia. At the minute, this is very cheap. It's gone down quite a bit, and because of that, we're going to benefit. We're going to benefit. Now, it's buying exceptionally cheap as well. It's quite under mid-price, so we're going to stock up and get a decent amount for this video if we buy 1,000 as well. So in terms of each arrow from instant buying the prices, we have got that for 156 and 449. So if I say 650 GP, yes, it's a little bit more, but it can just cover a little bit of grand exchange price shift because we have got propellants quite cheap. So 650 is the price for each arrow. Now, some things to note before we get started. One, the Brooch of the Gods actually doesn't work with this method. The only items which are really beneficial is Ranger's Workroom. If you've got tier 2 of the Ranger's Workroom, it gives you a 0.75% chance to make extra ammo, and tier 3 is a 1% chance. So even if you have tier 2, it's still very good and you still will see a benefit from it as well. The Fletching Cape as well, pretty similar to the Ranger's Workroom, will also have a buff, and it does add on top of the Ranger's Workroom as well. So we have lost the ability for a portable Fletcher and the Brooch, but again, it's a completely different way of doing it. We're only making headless dino arrows. Now, if you did have some hens in your player-owned farm, it does give you a chance, a 3 to 5% chance to save half of the dinosaur propellant you use with each action. Now, if you're going to do the 45,000, which the wiki says you can do during the hour, it's going to roughly save you about 1.2k dinosaur propellant, which is going to benefit you and obviously save you some money as well. So for something that's quick to farm as hens, if you're going to go and do a decent stint of headless dino arrows, which roughly at the minute are making between 7.5 mil to 8 mil profit per hour, having the ability to save that propellant is only going to increase it by another 1 mil per hour if you can do it as well. And I would highly, highly recommend you do that as well. Now, what I'm going to do, just because it gives you a chance of making some little buffs and stuff in terms of XP, I am going to do it on Mod 84 because I'm still on Mod 84. But you can pretty much do this in any world you want. You just need to do it in a Ranger's Workroom as well. In terms of XP, you are sort of taking one for the team. In terms of XP, you're only going to get 45,000 XP. Because you're basically making headless arrows. Now, I'm going to do this with the Fletching Workbench. And as you see, very similar to how the bolts work, you can do 60 interactions in one go. And each time you're going to make 15 arrows. So it's not fully AFK, but it does give you some downtime where you don't have to focus on the screen and you can just sit and fletch away. Now, in terms of the extra items you're going to get, again, very similar to how it worked with the bolt fletching, you will get a notice normally in your inverted save that they've saved it, but the Workroom and the Fletching Cape are very low percentages, so you probably won't see loads of extra arrows during your 1 hour. You're probably going to get something in the region of like 700 to 1,000, so it will happen. As you see, the Ranger's Workroom gives us a focus and makes us make some more arrows, but you won't get loads of them. You'll get some, but you won't get a lot. So as you see, 1,000 won't take us too long to do, but I think I am saving some of the propellant because I do have some hens, I think. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, but yeah, between that, it's not too much in terms of requirements of items you need. Again, just the Fletching Cape, the Workroom are benefits, and also 95 Fletching you're going to need as well. What I'm going to aim for on my lower level accounts is use things like Incendiary bolts, Onyx bolts to get to this point, and then maybe transition if the dino arrows are better GP, which normally they are. They're just on a bit of a downward sort of turn in the minute, to then finish off 99 and make even more profit from fletching as well. Now with dino arrows, you do have a bit of a thing you can do as well. You can actually tip these with the sharp shell shards. You are going to lose some money though, because turning these into the dino arrows, you're sort of exchanging the GP for the XP. So yeah, that's where you're going to kind of like make a risk. So as you can see, we have done all of our dino arrows. 964k from that. So we only made like one set of extra arrows, but we made profit turning them into headless arrows. So I'm just going to check on Organic Exchange a couple of prices because again, these might actually sell for higher. So we can just do one, see what this will go for. So just instant selling, yes, it's a little bit lower than what we should be, but what I do, I just drop it a couple of GP below the mid price and they will sell for that price at some point as well. But what we can look at is Sharp Shell Shards. Now, the problem with these is that they have the option of being used for fire making XP, and because of that, like, they're not just for fletching, so they do sort of hold their price because they're pretty much AFK bank standing fire making XP. Now, if we look at price for Dino Arrow, that's going to come in at a price of 807 GP. So if you are going to tip them with Sharp Shell Shards, yes, the XP will be really good, but you are sort of sacrificing all the XP as well. Now, on top of these methods, because we've sort of rounded off what you're going to do with the headless arrows, me personally, just send them on Organic Exchange, take profit. Now, if you wanted to have some really good XP with Dino Arrows, you can buy a Dino Arrow, and currently making Dino Arrows with full anima is going to roughly pull in about 2.5 mil per hour, which you might sit and think, that really isn't great XP, and it's not really great profit either. Which you might sit and think, it's not really great in terms of profit, which, yes, 2 mil profit nowadays really isn't a lot, but the thing is now, the Dino Arrows with the anima and fletching them with the anima is one of the best AFK fletching XPs you can currently get. So the ones which are making the most money is the full anima, and for every arrow tip, you're going to need 15 arrows. So for 1k arrows, we're going to need 15k of the full anima, which at the minute we can only buy 5k, so we'll only do 5k. But what I'll show you, and again for this method you can use a Fletcher, so you can use the brooch as well. So if we go for the price check, so for one arrow is going to require 15 of the full. We need to be roughly about 867 GP each, but the benefit with this as well, very similar to the bolts, because we can use a portable Fletcher, because we can use the brooch as well, we're going to make significantly more extra ammunition as well, which is going to give us a better profit really. In terms of the price of the arrow, it should be more than actually just like the supplies, which is a nice change. So we should be making more per arrow for supplies, but also we should be making more because we're making extra ammos as well. Now the absolute best thing with God arrows is you can see that AFK timer, that was 4 minutes of AFK. Now, looking at that price, you'll make a little bit of GP. You're talking like 40, 50 GP. So again, the God arrows is going to be due to the extras you're going to make. But the XP per action, as you can see, I'm getting 340 XP per interaction. You can do 60 of these in one go. And it's going to be about 5 minutes AFK. Really, really good way to do some AFK high XP fletching where you don't have to pay any attention. Now, for me personally, during the time I was doing fletching, this was roughly about 40 mil of my total XP. It's only towards the end where I was getting closer to 120, I decided to do things like broad arrows, rune darts, but for the majority of it, I use fletching as an AFK skill. Now, I was supposed to make quite a lot of GP with this, because before the whole Anachronia like fire making nerf, you made a lot of XP doing God arrows because it was just such good XP with making extra arrows as well. And due to the Anachronia nerf and more of the supplies coming into the game, the prices tanked, so I actually didn't make as much as I needed or wanted with the fletching. I think I about broke even after I sold my like 200k stack of full arrows, and it taught me a lesson of not to stack too many items when we know that prices are volatile and prices can change in the game. So yeah, that was a lesson learned quite quickly. So I'm going to wrap this video up, but just to go over everything once again. Fletching headless Dino Arrows, 95 fletching, and can roughly bring in about 7.5 mil to 8.5 mil per hour currently. That can definitely go up. Again, it's one of those methods which sort of went past Onyx bolts and Incendiary bolts. It's kind of flipped back around for the minute, but can definitely go and make more in future. And then also, if you're looking for a really high AFK fletching method, which again, you're not going to make any more than sort of 3 to 4 mil per hour now with Dino Arrows. Dino Arrows with the anima can make you significant AFK gains. Like you're doing that, for me, I'm doing that more for the AFK and the XP. The profit is more like a benefit. It's just a nice little bit on the side. You can see how AFK this can be if you do Dino Arrows as well. But I wanted to just include them because they're a nice little add-on to do as well. I wouldn't recommend tipping the headless Dino Arrows. Sell them for profit. And then if you really want a bit of fletching XP on top, buy the God Arrows and just check on the wiki which one's making the most profit. Because they all sort of change around which one's making the most profit at once. It's never normally Big. Big's the one which loses the most. But the other three can interchange quite often as well. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.